Impressed by our rant 2 weeks ago on JRPGs, specifically my defense of JRPG towns, Monica A. writes in to ask, what is your favorite JRPG town?
Okay. I'll go ahead and start it off. It was real hard for me because I'm like, wow, are there really any towns where I'm just like, wow, this town is amazing and I want to stay here? I made like a list of three, my top three. So number 3 would be Alticia from Final Fantasy 15. It's just fucking beautiful. All on the water. You have that awesome Leviathan.
It's like Venice.
Right there. Yeah, exactly. It's just beautiful. Yokohama from Yakuza Like a Dragon, since technically it's a JRPG now.
That's cheating.
Yeah, I know. And you get to do all the wonderful Yakuza things in that game. But honestly, my favorite town is not a town that you go to for pleasure. It's a town that you go to for business. And that would be Dalit from Final Fantasy VIII.
Business town.
Yeah.
It's business.
The business
is Dalit the space station?
No, Dalit is the first town you go to on the mission.
Oh, that's
the Dalit
right.
Mission, yeah.
Why is that your favorite town?
Well, here's the thing. It's the town that I could think of that had the most interesting thing happening while you were in the town. You're literally...
Was a backdrop for your first seed mission.
Exactly. You're a child soldier and you're going to this town to destroy like a radio tower or something. It's where you fight your first like major boss, where you can draw a GF from them. If you don't know, you just miss it.
They got cars. They get smashed
they got
by
cars
robots
and shit. You roll up on the beach on your boats and you're just like gun shooting everywhere.
It's like Normandy.
You have a very intense chase scene with a giant mechanical spider robot that you think you can defeat. Exactly. And the music is just
the music is banging. Final Fantasy VIII, I don't know if I've ever really truly ranked it in my heart, but easy top 3. Not only Final Fantasy soundtracks, but RPG soundtracks of all time. Final Fantasy VIII fucking bangs.
Yeah, it's fucking dope.
Yeah.
But yeah, that spider, I was like 10 when I played this game.
Okay.
So this was the most intense moment I've ever had in a video game. I was like, what the hell? Yes, it's chasing you. And it catches you and you have to fight it again and break it down so you can run again. And then you make it back to the shore and Quistis hops on the heavy machine gun and just fucking blows it to shit. And I'm like, oh, that's my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Quistis.
I hate how Squall treats Quistis too, or Quistis.
Yeah, no, he's a dick.
He's a dick.
He's a dick. But yeah, Dalit, man. Very unconventional pick, I think, but it's my favorite town, man. Yeah.
That's fair. I was thinking of something more traditional and along the lines of what I was saying a couple of weeks ago about the importance of the town, you know, how it breaks up the gameplay loop, how it's a place to grab side quests, it's a place to replenish your supplies, it's a place to move along some story. To me, my favorite JRPG town of all time has to be Trino from Final Fantasy IX. Trino is the eternal city of night because every time you approach it, it becomes nighttime.
Okay.
They don't have a traditional day-night cycle. There are just parts of the world that are always dark. So, it is a town that's kind of skeevy. Like there's some good parts and some bad parts. There's some people, there's some layabouts, some drunks. There in the weapon shop, there's actually an underground, like, not Coliseum, but like a fight ring where they have like a monster they keep down there that you can fight or challenge. And that monster will change throughout the game, the different times that you revisit the town through the story. The Stelazio lady is there, so all of these Zodiac pieces that you pick up throughout the game, she collects those, and if you give them to her, she'll give you really good gifts, including the Blood Sword, which is one of the best swords for that part in the game. There's the auction house, which is actually secretly ran by Kuja, the villain in the game. Right? He's the proprietor or whatever, but you can go there and get really rare key items that you can resell to NPCs for even more than what you bought them for if you haggle right. And then you can go back and rebuy them again to keep in your key item to go towards your thievery ranking, so Gilgamesh will respect you. And then you get really good, useful items in the auction house as well that you can use and get like unique abilities from. The card game tournament stadium is there. I didn't like the card game in Final Fantasy IX as much as I liked 8 because I thought it was overly convoluted. But it's a fun side diversion, especially if you're into that type of thing, and it exists in that town. There's a dungeon in the town underground that you can grind in if you want. That's part of the story, and still hop back up and do town stuff. It's got a lot of really interesting like active time events and story beats. It's just, I don't know, it's everything I love about a town. Every time I go there, I get excited because there's so much stuff to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't have any like proper mini games unless you want to count fighting the monster or the auction house or the card game. It's got proper mini games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's dope.
So yeah, that is, to me, there's secrets, there's stuff that you can find if you're looking and searching around, which the whole game has that. But to me, it's the perfect JRPG town, and I can't think of any other town out there that I liked better. So
yeah, I want to do a special shout out to Fuchsia City, home of the Safari Zone.
Okay.
That was the dopest thing back in the day on the original Pokemon games. You just go in there and catch a Kangaskhan. What else is in there? Doduo, Scyther. Scythers were in there. Like,
it was cool.
So
though.
long ago. Yeah. I remember loving that shit.
For sure. All right. And you had a lot to say about that one.
Yeah.
You cheated. You gave like 4 towns.
Well, it was hurting me inside. I was like, all these towns have a great thing about them, but
yeah,
dollar to one out in the end.
It speaks to what I was saying a couple weeks ago. They're important. Mm-hmm. So Final Fantasy 13, you done fucked up. Sorry. Should have had towns.